Hey, you've probably seen some of my prior postings on this earlier when we were in the permit stage. This is a 1950s bank building conversion. It's our second bank building conversion into multifamily units. We've done office buildings into multifamily, but some of them really depends on office buildings. Not always have the right amount of light and the window structures, but this building I had an eye on for a long time for one of my clients because it has this perfect south-facing sunlight. It's just very unique, and it's in fantastic location, and has been vacant for 10 years. And the structure and the build and the interior of it had minimal problems with the concrete, the structure, the building. The inner core of it is like where the elevator shaft is, and all the electrical and the HVAC and the plumbing, everything runs down through the middle core. Is smaller because on some of the older buildings you have a larger center core, and it makes it harder to build your floor plates for all your apartments on the outside of it. But this, your average apartment is around 65 to 75 feet deep, where a normal office building is like 120 feet deep, so it's too long. So we made an inner lobby, took out a couple floors and made a large open area, and then put the residential parts on the outside and had a large grand opening ballroom type scenario, and then all of our amenities built in it. But the structural and the uniqueness of the building didn't have that much. It had to be restored and redone. So it being so old is better than ground up construction because we got a lot amount of tax credits, and the city practically gave it away. So this is a 151 unit project. Right now we're at basically 10% occupancy. We have 61 units available, and they're 1 to 2 units, and they go down to like a co-work habit to 2-bedroom unit, basically a studio that you can work out of in a way, up to a 2-unit, say about 1,800 square feet, and down to as small as like 400 square feet. So that allowed us to get 151 units. I mean, originally it was 152, we cut it back to 151. But the design, the structure, and everything worked out, and the lighting and the windows and the design fit perfectly for this project. Now, this is an easy quadruple on the money with the incentives and the government support and everything that we've done for the revitalization. So it worked out really well. Plus, we had minimal asbestos and minimal lead paint, and minimal damage. So when you're looking at these type of properties, you want to do this after you've gotten into you hire me and I've trained you to get in apartments and retail and learn how to do some light development, and you want to get into a larger multi-complex, multi-unit development conversion where there's super big money. You'd want to look at the occupancy rates and the demand, because this is like a D class building in D class areas in a normal downtown area in the certain cities, probably anywhere across the country that has a decent demand. You want to make sure that luxury level class A demand or B plus plus is higher demand than the C and D level housing demand is. So if you have that, and the future for it, I mean, right now housing is so short. I mean, you're not gonna fail. You just have to get the first steps into your education and growing in your commercial real estate knowledge, and then you get into this. I mean, after I have clients that have bought anywhere from 5 to 10 to 15 apartments, and they want to go up into the larger construction and conversions. That's been happening and can be doable. So anyhow, this thing, because multi-family is lower cap rates, it's more stable, it's better than the high cap rate, higher risk office buildings, and the problem with offices right now, well, it's a great opportunity. So I think banks have a little more uniqueness to them, and they have a little more open plan for the parking and everything on the bottom, so it allows us to do different things structurally. And on this we have a cabana and a pool that overlooks the south face and allows for a great area for like fitness center, a little open party center, yoga, and all these other amenities, dog wash, and these things like that, that aren't really in every apartment. They're kind of unique to this apartment. So it gives it a little character and makes it a little more interesting or more attractive for people to live into. So all these costs came out really nice and everything worked out. I mean, it had to sit 2 years while we went through the permit phase. Once we got everything done, and then construction's been going on. Have you seen my very, very previous videos from the very beginning on this thing, and even before we even took ownership of it, I have videos of it. So now you get to see it in progress. Right now, it should be completed by February, and then we'll see the end results of this thing. We did a prior one, like a couple of years ago, maybe it was a year and a half ago, that you saw, where we had the shortage of parking, where we made automatic parking stalls that were 2 stalls on the same floor, and they're like an elevated lift in them, which gave us more room. So, I mean, this building, we didn't have any major things to overcome, except for just the normal construction of the building and keeping the costs down. But with good design team, developer, architecture, and the engineers, the way we set up everything turned out fine, and the cost came out better than ground up construction. So what the trick is, when you get into commercial real estate, you want to be able to pull off cash out on apartments, retail malls, or whatever you're getting into, or motels or hotels. But you really want to start out with apartments and retail strip malls and things like that, and then get into the development portion of it and the renovation part of it at the same time. Then as your portfolio grows and you get more cash building up, then you can get into the conversions and then full on developments from ground up. Once you have that cash and have the cash flow and you're in the right position in your asset, you're able to outdo all the competition and withstand any economic problems or storms or whatever that can happen and come up. Most people buying want to put up down payments, they want to get JV investors, or they want to get a syndicate, and they get in all kinds of problems, because in order for them to do that, as you've noticed, some other people that do these things, they've gotten into trouble because they're going to offer 20%, and every investor will jump on the 20%. But the problem is, it's not feasible, because your normal apartment with investors, the normal commercial real estate investor, consumer buyer, is kind of clueless. So when he says 20%, they're not getting 20%, because they bought it upside down and they bought it on a consumer level. So when it gets to be the payout, the 20% to the investor, it doesn't happen. Then they have to keep buying more and more apartments to get the loans to pay back the earlier investors, and they get this trailing deficit that keeps chasing them all the way forward, and they have to keep doing more and more. That's what we completely avoid, and that allows us to take over all the competition, because they can't handle the storm. They're in a cash deficit. Their cash flow's down. It looks good on paper. I mean, it looks good from the surface and outside. Oh, they're super rich. Looks like they have a lot of properties and stuff, when really they're losing money, and they bought it wrong from the whole point of putting up the down payment, the price they paid for it, and the way they're running the property. Now, if you haven't done these things, I mean, anybody can jump into commercial real estate and go buy stuff. If you get investors and a syndicate and all these things, you market it really well, and you tell them whatever they want to hear, and yeah, they're going to sign up it all day. But the advantage of me teaching you this stuff is how you can avoid all that, and you're not going to need the investors and stuff. And I'm going to teach you the game. Those people are at the end of the spectrum, and they're being played by the game. I'm going to teach you to be on the top level, the apex level, and being able to control and dominate the whole market, and be able to buy and build and convert everything that you want. Whereas other people are just going to be just little pawns in this scenario, and then when they start losing properties and stuff, you're going to be the one picking them up, because you're going to be in the best position to keep going and building your portfolio. That's why in this commercial real estate, you see the elite get super rich and you never hear about them. And then the other people in commercial real estate, like the small, 10% that are in commercial real estate like the 3%, 5%, top 5% in commercial real estate own most of everything in commercial real estate. All the other 95% are the ones get ripped off, and the top ones own everything. And they're buying from all these consumers that are getting in bad position and losing their properties and things like that. Anybody can go buy a car, buy an apartment, buy any of this, that, and look and pretend like they have a lot of money, but looks aren't everything, and it doesn't determine that you're successful and you know what you're doing and you're going to make a lot of money. Trick is the knowledge and the way things are put together. Once you know that, then you can make a lot of money. If you want to focus on this for a couple of years, you can retire, never have to work again. Actually, you can technically retire after 1 or 2 deals. I need clients that are aggressive and not want to just get their first 1 or 2 million and then travel all over the country and then try and buy properties from out of the country here and there and not really push it. If you're really serious and you're aggressive and you want to push it, you can make a lot of money and continue to build this, and then there's really no limit. And I'm not even gonna say numbers and how much money you can get, because you wouldn't believe me if I showed you or told you. So the point is, you got to start out with 1 to 5 million range, which is very small, and we're doing it where you're getting cash out up front, and then I'm just teaching you every step of the way, why you do things, how you do things, what order you do things. Everything matters. Everything matters in how you set up your commercial real estate and why you're going to buy apartments, why you're going to buy retail, and you're going to do those at the same time, and then land you into the next phase, and then the next phase, and on up and up. Other people don't teach you this because they don't know anything about commercial real estate. They don't know anything about the poker of it, the psychology of it. And it's a lot like almost playing Uno in a way as well, because there is a lot of things, a lot of rules, a lot of ratios, and a lot of factors that are involved and angles about why you do things, in the order you do things, and what is really happening with each property and why each property is being sold and the price is being sold and what the real value is, and how to know what's gonna be in that property that can be changed, manipulated, or the truth about it is, or what the lie about it is, or all these things that other people aren't going to catch, and the sellers don't even know this. So basically, from a perspective of the knowledge and the level, if you're an aggressive person and you know this kind of information, you're not going to need down payments. And the credit, I have fixed credit and get your credit going, but I can have clients that get in here without good credit, and we'll work around that. But it's all about knowledge, strategy, and other things related to commercial real estate that the normal person, the consumer buyer, and the consumer educator, supposed educator, doesn't know. And once you know this kind of information, you're going to be unstoppable. So if this sounds like you and you're an aggressive type person that wants to get into an industry that has unlimited potential and you're tired of not making it big, then you should definitely look into this and get started, because right now it's such a huge demand for living space, and there's no better way to get from a normal class to a high class level of income faster. So if you want to give me a call, my number is 312-473-4163. You need credit repair, you want to get that started. If you can't get in commercial real estate, that's all right. You want to start in commercial real estate renovation, to start that business, we could start that. You need personal funding, consulting, business credit consulting, I'll do that on the side, as long as your main motive is to get into commercial real estate where the big money is. And then you're into the long term, I will teach you and train you from every level all the way on up. So, all right, thanks for watching this, and I will talk to you soon, hopefully.